Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, hang out with this nerd.
Ted.
And today we're coming to you with a public service announcement about Wizards of the Coast and the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons books.
If you want to jump down to the description below, you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips as well as learn how to game with us.
So, if you've been gaming for a while, like I have, Ted's been gaming for a while, but I've been gaming for even longer than him. And I actually remember back to 1st edition Dungeons & Dragons, where, you know, the art was all black and white, but it was really super cool, and the books were awesome, but there was one problem. The bindings on them would eventually come apart, which they fixed in 2nd edition.
Right.
But you know, your 1st edition, it was actually the 1st edition second printing.
Okay.
The 1st edition first printing was fine, right? And with the second printing, they actually changed. You know, they changed the art and stuff. I'm pretty sure that was the mage in the light blue robes with the, I don't know what they call it, where it's that flare that's up in the back. It's not actually a collar. It actually comes up over the head. You know, and he was very Gandalf looking and had like a not a quasar, but an imp or homunculus flying around him. And you see the magic dancing off of his fingers and stuff. But you know, that was actually, I believe that was 1st edition, second printing, and those books, unless it was 2nd edition, first printing. But yeah, and either way, with those books, all of them, the pages would start coming out. I even think the Unearthed Arcana had that problem as well. So 5th edition, they've done their damnedest to recapture all of the editions of D&D and the fandoms,
including pages falling out.
Yes, including the pages falling out. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but if you look really closely where the spine is, you can see the separation where the pages are coming out. It's a huge pain in the ass. You know, you're flipping through your book and the pages end up on the ground. And initially what Wizards of the Coast were saying was, hey, just mail us your bad books and, you know, on your dime.
And we'll replace them.
And we'll replace them and send you a coupon, right? Which, my biggest problem with that is it's not even so much that I would have to spend my money to send the books back to them, but then it's like, well, now I don't have my books for however long it takes them to get to you and you to send them back.
And it's not like 5th edition has officially released PDFs that are out there. Anything that's out there is technically gotten illegally.
Right. I mean, well, there is the SRD with a lot of the information. There is the downloads you can get with a lot of information, but it doesn't have all the information.
Correct. The only way to have all the info is to have your book.
Right, and so it appears, you know, the later printings of the Player's Handbook and Monster Manual, there's not a problem. I haven't seen any problems with the DMG yet. Yeah, knock on wood. But I also feel like that book doesn't get used as hard.
Correct.
So we'll see what happens. But hopefully they did catch it with, you know, after the Monster Manual, go, okay, I guess we really have to fix this. People are upset. You recently went through the process of getting a new book.
I did. I was told, you know, by a fellow gamer that you don't have to go through the process of mailing your books in anymore and, you know, being without your material for the time being. They said, just give a call. So I went online, I got the number for Watts, and I called them. I think I talked to a Tim or a Tom over there at Wizards Customer Service, and they said, well, they like to have everything...
Could be Tom.
They like to have everything done with, you know, with proof. So they say, open up a ticket on their service, and they want pictures sent of the actual damages. So what they want to see is your copyright page, and they want to see proof of your books falling apart. I don't know whether you have any sections. I don't like that one that actually do come out. So you send a picture like that along with the copyright, and they'll say, oh, well, that's clearly defunct, and they can go ahead and get it removed. See, here's a section from my Monster Manual, and it's like, hey, if I want to just keep the stats for, say, a Death Tyrant, I can do so right there.
Yeah, it's very convenient. So you have they sent you new books.
I went through the process, and in the mail today, I got my new books for my Monster Manual, my Player's Handbook, and they're literally, you know, cracking here for the first time.
Look how shiny they look next to my books.
You can certainly see
I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but the new one looks so much shinier now.
It hasn't had as much
Love.
hasn't had as much love, hasn't had as much wear and tear. But I mean, they're right from the factory. It feels nice not to have to worry about like, okay, what's gonna fall out while I'm flipping through to try and get stuff. From the game session that I ran this week, it's like, the players were looking into the beholder that you guys were interested in going to fight, and I realized the section that actually had the Death Tyrant on it had literally fallen out of my monster
Could
manual.
have just passed it around.
Well, I mean, it wasn't there. I had to borrow a monster manual from someone else at the table.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't know where my particular section is. And it was around the corner from where I was actually prepping for the session the day before.
So what is today, the 11th?
Today is the 11th.
And do you know when you opened your ticket?
I want to say all told it was probably between a week or two.
Okay.
Which is pretty fast turnaround in my opinion to actually have the replacements in hand.
I feel like the last time we did a shoot with just me and you, you're like, I did this stuff to get it. And that would have been...
That was a week ago.
Yeah, about a week ago.
So, yeah, it was
less. It was a little bit less.
So, yeah, I would say all told just under 7 days to get it done.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nice that they're addressing that there's a problem, there's an issue, and they are doing something about it. They're not just like, oh, you're screwed, go buy another book, and they also realize what an inconvenience it was for people to send their books back, and then it really happened. They're like, now what do we do with all these books, because they're probably getting so many bad books back. They're like stacking up.
There is definitely a business angle from all right, well, I have to receive it, which you're going to pay someone to handle it, you're going to pay someone to dispose of it.
Are you sure they're not just building forts in the office with them?
I am really hoping that there's not enough misprinted books out there that have been turned in that they're making forts out of it.
There is enough books. Whether they've been turned in or not is another matter. Because there's probably a lot of people like me they're kind of old and cranky, and they're like, this is a hassle. I'm not sending it back. and that was essentially why I hadn't done it.
My situation was, it's like, well, this is quote unquote the first printing. Not that there's really going to be any value or resale that I'm going to worry about, but part of it's like, well, I got in on this at the ground floor. I don't want to part with that book. And there's the other part of it where it's like, I don't want to not have my book.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna take the pictures, send them over there, and then I'm probably gonna set these on fire. I don't know what you're doing yours. But let's all come over to Ted's house. We'll have a book burning party.
I have a proper fire ring if you need to. So
yeah, I have a hole in the ground that works.
Okay.
It's not currently filled with undead, so I can fill it with books, damaged books to burn. So yeah, I'm actually this week at some point I'm going to have to take my pictures and get them to send me my undamaged copies, because it really drives me nuts when the pages are falling out or whatever. And we've even tried repairing them. Well, Ted.
I did. I bought bookbinding glue, and for a little while it was actually working.
1 minute. It worked for 1 minute.
It worked for a couple of months, and then I couldn't find my glue, and it just got worse, and then it got worse, and
really, I mean, if you have to keep re-gluing it at a certain point, at a certain point you might as well take all the pages out, punch 3 holes in them, and put them in a binder.
Well, that was something that crossed my mind as well.
So I don't know. Let's hear your book horror stories. What did you do to fix them? Have you had a pleasant interaction with the Wizards of the Coast people, Tim or Tom, as it may be, such as Ted has, or are you like me, like this is such a hassle, I'm not doing it. I'll just deal with my pages falling out. Curse you, Wizards of the Coast! But you can let us know about your experience down in the comments section below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
Don't forget to check us out over on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.